the guys out there constantly, you can tell they understand the value of possession, value of the football, turnover margin. Where did you learn that lesson, and why it's so important to football? Where does that?
I guess, coming here in 1981, I just remember Coach Fry. He said, before you're going to win, you can't lose games. And Ted Marchibroda said more games are lost than won. Those old axioms are really true. But you look at the 81 ball club, we were not prolific offensively by any stretch of the imagination, but we had a pretty salty defense. Had the best punter in the world, not in college football, but in the world at that time, and pretty solid kicking game. So, we found a way to be successful that year, but protecting the ball is just it's paramount. To me, it's no different than tackling well on defense. If you don't do those things consistently, then you better really be more talented than every opponent you play, and that's hard to do.
Why do you think this year's team so far has been really good about protecting the ball?
I don't want to talk too much about it, but part of it's experience, and then part of it's concentration too. I think those two things really help us, and for the most part, guys touching the football have some experience, and then guys that are in those positions, and then concentration is something everybody's capable of. So, but it's all those things have to go together, and fundamentals on top of it. But that's concentration too.
Wisconsin's victory over Mitt, was it simply they just started by dominating the line of scrimmage and it just kind of went there?
Well, they just talked about the best punter in the world, and I don't know who the best running back in the country is, but I know where my vote would go right now.
Sure.
Just watching him play is pretty good. I don't mean that to diminish the other people's work that's going on out there, but sometimes games like that happen to teams, good teams. We've seen that before, and we've been victimized by that ourselves. But it was one of those days. Wisconsin just played a tremendous football game, and it just wasn't Michigan's day. But I gotta say that back is pretty special too.
Kirk, you mentioned Tyler Goodson. He seems to add an extra gear when he's out there. When did you feel like he could really contribute?
Well, we really liked him in recruiting, needless to say, and but we like all of our guys in recruiting. Really, until you get them on campus, you're not quite sure what they look like in person. I was thinking about Abdul Hodge in that regard. The first time standing behind him, in a not a scrimmage situation, but a practice situation, he was quicker than I anticipated, I guess, and so that's part of it. And then part of it is just how do they react to the circumstances that they're being put into. And this is very different than playing in high school, just like, guys who go to the NFL, it's another step for them too. And I think the thing that's really impressed all of us right from the start with him is he just seems to be pretty much unaffected by whatever situation we put him in. And again, go flashback moments, Tony Moaki had that ability too. When he showed up, it just seemed like whatever we asked him to do, he did it pretty well. And Tyler kind of has that ability too. And he's a very humble guy, very hardworking guy, and really good teammate. So it's been great to have him on our team.